Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are here for a Conversations with Rob podcast. I'm here with Lauren Ferraioli. She is the graduate program manager and senior instructor for Canine Companions for Independence. And she'll tell us a little bit more of what Canine Companions for Independence is, but a quick synopsis: they operate in all 50 states. There's 6 training centers, and it's also the Northeast region where she works at. It operates in 14 different states. So, Lauren, thanks so much for coming on the program. I really appreciate it, and I really appreciate what you're doing also.
It's a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
All right, so Lauren, let's get into the mission of CCI. So what is the mission of CCI? And if you could just tell us a little bit about the organization in general.
Sure. Canine Companions for Independence, we're a not-for-profit. We place service dogs with people with disabilities other than blindness. So it's a wide range of folks that apply and are placed with one of our dogs. It ranges from kids to adults and disabilities like Down syndrome to spinal cord injuries. You know, folks that typically apply are affected by their disability in such a way where their mobility is limited, and that's what our dogs are trained to do. Task-oriented skills to assist a person with everyday things, like if they drop something on the ground, the dog is taught to pick it up for them and then give it to them, opening doors for them, turning on lights, turning off lights, things like that.
So, Lauren, were you always an animal lover, and what got you into this kind of, training dogs that really help and change a lot of people's lives? Not only people that have disabilities, but also a lot of veterans with PTSD rather. What got you into this field?
Yeah, I've been with Canine Companions for 17 years now, and I started, with a love for animals, all animals in general. I was going to one of the local community college for my associate's degree, and needed a part-time job. I was working like 2 or 3 of them at the time, and found an opening with Canine Companions. It was a flyer that was put up in the veterinary department of the school I was going to. I wasn't studying veterinary science. I was just getting an associate's degree and liberal arts, basically because I had no idea what I wanted to do.
Right.
And I don't think they were looking for somebody like me. Canine Companions was looking for somebody who was studying to be a vet or studying to be a vet tech. But I applied. I got the job. I was working 2 hours a day, 5 days a week. It was perfect for somebody who was a full-time student. And then when I got my degree, it was kind of like, what's the next step here? What do I want to study next? But I didn't want to leave the job, and I loved working for the organization. And they have a really great on-the-job training program. It's an apprenticeship where they teach you how to train dogs. And they send you out to the national headquarters in California to do so. Mm-hmm. So, at age early 20s, I decided that was the right path for me. And I picked up, moved to California, and finished my apprenticeship. And here I am today, 17 years later.
Right, so going back into that, and you've been doing this for 17 years, and I know the organization has really changed and really grown. Really developing over in Texas, and I think they, you can tell me more about this, but they did breaking ground for a new training center in, is it Ohio, correct?
That is correct. The North Central region in Ohio has been there for many, many, many years.
Right.
What they're doing, the breaking ground part is expanding on their center, building dormitories for their recipients, because part of the requirements to receive one of our assistance dogs is that you are required to attend a 2-week training course called team training, right, where we teach you the dogs are fully trained at that point. They're ready. They know, nearly 50 commands. We just take the 2 weeks to then train the people who have applied decide to receive a dog, how to utilize their assistance dog.
Right. So,
yeah, sorry, and just a little bit more about that is that each region serves a region. So it's several states that we're serving, like Northeast, we're serving, from Maine out to Pennsylvania down to Virginia. And so folks having to stay on campus here in New York for 2 weeks, obviously is going to be pretty expensive if you have to stay in a hotel. So all of our facilities, except for Ohio, have dormitories for them to stay in.
Right, so serving so many states and so many individuals that do need a furry friend to, be more independent in life. How do you guys get the funding, and also, how is the staff? Because that's got to be an expensive thing to train these dogs and also support a staff, and also when the people come for the 2-week training, families, to help them out, that's got to be an expensive thing. So where do you guys get your funding from?
Yes, a good question. We're privately funded, donations from corporations and individuals. The biggest thing for us is getting our word out there, spreading awareness like we're doing right now, letting people know about our needs, what we do, and, how you as a supporter can have a huge impact on changing somebody's life, because that is truly what we're doing here with the dogs. The dogs they have a huge impact on the people that we serve, and you could certainly be directly involved with that if you support our organization.
All right, so could you just give us a little background? So the puppies are born in California, and then if I'm correct, and you can always interrupt me if I'm wrong, because I only know a little bit about the process because I haven't went through all the the trainings and stuff like my family has. But going through, the puppies are born in California, then they're sent to you, and you are one of the people that instructs them and trains them with your staff and figures out who they'll best fit. And how does that puppy process go, I guess, from when they're born?
Good, yeah, it's a good question. The puppy process, the life of the puppy, is they're all born out in California. We have our own breeding program. We breed Labrador Retrievers and Golden Retrievers and cross the two to make a Lab Golden cross. And they are, for the first 8 weeks of their lives, they live with their mom and their litter, their brothers and sisters, with their volunteer breeder caretakers. And so those are the volunteers. And we rely heavily on volunteers for a lot of things. And so this is just one role where the breeder caretaker houses the mom and the litter for those first 8 weeks of life. Then they are shipped, the litter will be transported to their regions that they've been assigned to. And so at that point, they're 8 weeks of age, and they have been assigned, quote unquote, adopted. It's not really adopted, it's more like fostered by what we call a volunteer puppy raiser. Those are the folks that, this group of volunteers truly is the backbone of what we do here, because they raise our puppies from 8 weeks of age to about 18 to 24 months of age. And they raise them in their homes. They teach them nearly 30 obedience commands, but they also, most importantly, they teach them how and prepare them how to be an assistance dog. So teaching them house manners, teaching them how to behave appropriately out in public, in a restaurant or a grocery store, and preparing them for that life of assisting somebody and being their arms and legs. It's a really important role, because once they become a year and a half years of age, we call it matriculate into professional training. And so that's when the professional training staff is going to take over. They're going to evaluate the dogs. They're going to determine if they're fit for placement as a service dog. And they're going to train the more advanced commands. And that's a 6 to 9 month period. So they're not going to have enough time, and we don't have enough resources to be able to, do all the house breaking or the house manners or the socialization. and teaching appropriate behavior. That's why we rely heavily on our volunteers.
So every dog has a different personality. Obviously, I've seen, through Shawnee is more laid back. Emerson's, Shawnee's ready to go too, but Emerson's really pumped up. He wants to go out, as does my sister. So every dog has a different personality. With that, how do you match the dogs to the people that are going to receive the dogs to help them in their quest together as a team? So how do you guys match that up? And also with that, what about the people that, and I know there's quite a few people that, are looking for dogs. Somebody comes in, they sign up and they say, hey, we'd like a dog for our child, our adult, for themselves rather, or whatever it may be. And you guys say, hey, we don't think we have a fit. How do you guys talk about that with people?
Yeah, that's both are really good. It's like a two-part question.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No, it's good. They go together. I mean, there's a 5-step application process that you are required to go through for us to be able to determine, can we serve you? Each individual is different, just like each dog is different. And so, unfortunately, the organization, not everybody's going to benefit from Canine Companion's assistance dog. And so during that 5-step application process, we're going to be able to determine it. It's going to start with submitting information about yourself. Where do you live? What's your house like? What's the household like? Do you have a yard? Do you have other pets? And what's your lifestyle? Where do you go on a regular basis? What do you need the dog to do for you? And we'll take a look at that and then schedule some time to chat about it on the phone. And there's some other steps along the way, which include, some like medical documentation about your disability. What really gives us an idea. What are your limitations? What kind of equipment do you use? Things like that. And we also ask your doctors if they would recommend a service dog for you, if they feel you would benefit from one, and then we meet you in person. That in-person meeting is the last step of the application process. It's an opportunity for us to meet you, talk to you face-to-face, really address any questions that the applicant would have at that point about what we do, what we can do for them, and then we get to see them work a dog. And that gives us an idea about their natural dog handling tendencies. What do they naturally do when they're around a dog? Do they, they melt to the floor and, pet the dog nonstop? Or are they a good leader? We are looking for leadership qualities, but that's part of that 2-week training course, is that we teach the people how to be dog handlers, within those 2 weeks. So, you don't have to be an expert dog handler to certify and be eligible for one of our dogs. We certainly have the tools that we can teach you. But there has to be a need, there has to be a benefit, and you have to like dogs, that's part of it too. A love for dogs is going to be a requirement. But during that 5-step process, essentially, we know the people really, really well. We know exactly what kind of dog you're going to need, and why. And the dogs, we have an intimate relationship with even more so. We know them since they're puppies. We work very closely with them for that 6 to 9 months that they're here, evaluating their skills, evaluating their temperament. Just like people, dogs have their own weaknesses. They have their own quirks. Our dogs are not perfect, just like people are imperfect. But that's what we look at when we look at matching the dogs. What does this person need? What does this dog need? And that's going to help us make those matches, because by the time they come into class, and they get invited to class to receive a dog, we're already pretty much, we know at that point which dog they're going to get matched with. It's just a matter of making it official. Right. And then working with them for those 2 weeks with that specific dog.
Right. So once the dog's graduated from team training, then you guys go through the regular graduation. And then after that graduation, how do you follow up with the person or the caretaker of the dog, with as far as to make sure that they're really taking care of the dog and they're getting the dog's in good condition, healthy, and it's getting taken care of well. So how do you guys go about doing that?
Yeah, well, first of all, Canine Companions retains ownership of the dogs. They live and are cared for by our recipients, but we do retain that ownership until the time when the dog retires. But during that time when the dog is working, the recipients are required to see us in person, pretty frequently at first. You know, we'll place the dogs, they graduate, and then we stay in frequent contact for the first 6 months. That contact requires them to update me personally with how their team is doing. And then I provide that support if there's questions or any issues or, you know, problems that come up. You know, they call me, they email me, I'm always available for them. That's my full-time job. And then I require them to be seen within 6 months of placement. So they have to be seen in person. And then at that point, you know, they still have me as a resource, but moving forward, it becomes, the in-person follow-up becomes less frequent. So it goes from 6 months to then a year to then every 3 years is the maximum amount of time that we would grant a person without having to see them.
Right. So I have two more questions left in the interview-ish. So the dogs that don't make it, Lauren, what happens to them? Do they go back with the puppy raiser? Do they go to a police organization, firefighters? What goes with the dogs that don't make it?
Yes, it's I'd say 99% of the time, the volunteer puppy raiser that raised the dog is going to adopt that dog back into their home as a pet. They will have the first option to do so, unless there was an opportunity for that dog to transfer to another organization or another job. So we have utilized search and rescue teams before, you know, ATF dogs, that it's really like seizure alert dogs, you know, other organizations that could benefit from a specific type of temperament that we can't utilize with our dogs. You know, our dogs have to be pretty non-reactive and stable and low energy, and that's just the nature of the population of people that we serve. But, you know, with search and rescue dogs, they have to have those really intense drives. Drives to, like, prey drives or fetch drives or chase drives. You know, those are part of, you know, the temperament that they're looking for. So, yeah, if there's nothing, like, if there's no need there and the dog wouldn't fit into that sort of program, puppy raiser's going to adopt them. If that, for some reason, wasn't going to work out, then we have a 5-year-long waiting list of folks that have applied to receive what we call a release dog, a dog that was released from the program because it was not suitable for service dog work. And so those people have been waiting 5 years, maybe more. Wow. And there is a $1,000 donation fee to adopt one of those dogs. They're still great pets. I have one of my own. He was, you know, raised and trained to be an assistance dog, but didn't make it through the program. He's my wonderful pet now. And, you know, like I said, they're not perfect. It doesn't mean that they won't make great pets. They just can't be out there in the world. Not every dog wants a job, you know, and that's part of it too. If they don't want to work, we're not going to make them. We're never going to force them to work.
Right. So the big topic I really wanted to talk about going toward the end of the question is fake service dogs. I know through other people and through when Shawnee was Brittany's dog going through Disney and other places, we would have dogs bark at them. I'd bark at her rather, and we had at one time where a dog tried to jump at her. What do you guys tell your the graduates or other people about these fake service dogs? I know CCI was doing something a couple years back about petitioning Congress to make a law about, saying that these dogs have to be registered. So what is your take on fake service dogs, and how we as a society should try to figure out how to, get rid of this problem? Because it's not just a safety issue for the dogs of CCI and the other legit service dogs, but it's also an issue to the public safety that are just kind of walking around, going to restaurants, whatever it may be.
I'm so glad you asked. And asked specifically, what can we do? These imposter service dogs pose a threat to everybody in a community. They pose a threat to these legitimate service dogs, not just a safety risk and a safety threat, but what they're also doing is they are out there in the world, giving real legitimate service dogs a bad name. Right. And that's the reality of it. It's something that, yes, Canine Companions is at the forefront of, trying to, work with government to make change, and spread awareness about how to identify an imposter and what can you do. If you're familiar with the ADA laws, anybody is only allowed to ask two questions of a person with an assistance dog. And those two questions are, is that an assistance dog? And what does that dog do for you? You can't ask them if they're disabled. You can't ask them to show you what they do for you. But the ADA clearly states that an assistance dog cannot pose a disturbance to a public environment. And so what that means is that if a dog were barking in a grocery store, or if the dog was defecating or toileting on the floor, or lunging or barking or growling or snapping at your assistance dog, then you have every right. They're in violation of the ADA. So you can go to the manager and you can say, look, that service dog, that dog is not a legitimate service dog. It should not be here, and you have right to ask them to leave right now because they're causing this disturbance. Because a real assistance dog cannot and should not do that. They should be, quote, invisible when they're in public. People shouldn't even know that there's a dog there. So any kind of disturbance, even if it is around a legitimate service dog, they can definitely be asked to leave. So know what your rights are. Know what the laws say and what you can and can't do. I think people are afraid to, question whether a dog is legitimate or not. Because it's a very sensitive subject, people with disabilities, and, he or she needs a dog. So what can I do? What can I say? The dog is, eating fruit out of the produce aisle, but I guess that's what it should do. People are afraid because they're not familiar with the laws and what their rights are. So familiarize yourself. Know that the dogs should not be eating fruit out of the produce aisle. They, should be invisible. And if they're, unfriendly or too friendly with a legitimate service dog, again, that's another reason to deny them access, and you'd be well within your right to do so.
Well, like you said, it's a big problem. I mean, what you've seen on airplanes, dogs biting people and doing all kinds of crazy stuff. And like you said, it gives a bad name to the person that really needs that dog to survive. And I mean, I can't tell you how many stories, we've seen people at Disney before with Shawnee, and the dog has spray painted hair. I mean, it's not, some of the dogs that aren't legitimate, you can kind of tell that it's just like somebody trying to get over on somebody else. And it's really sad, as you said, for the people that really need it and that are really, need that furry friend to survive and be independent on their own. So I wanted that. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Lauren.
No, I was just going to say, right, and I did want to add one thing, is that an emotional support animal is very different and classified very differently than an actual assistance dog. You know, an emotional support animal does not have the same access rights as an assistance dog. They are not allowed into public places where pet dogs are not allowed. Only service dogs are.
Right. Well, like you said, it's if people are afraid, and some people need to stand up, because if you don't stand up, like you said, something could happen where somebody gets bitten or something happens. And as we go back, it gives the other dogs a bad name. But I want to get to some fun questions, and I do this for everybody on the podcast. And just what's your favorite color, Lauren?
My favorite color is green, like a fun, like shamrock green.
Okay. And what was your favorite moment you've probably had so many emotional and fun moments at CCI, but could you give us like one or two emotional or fun moments that you have had working with CCI?
Oh boy. There are so many. Oh no, I wish I would have thought of this ahead of time. Favorite or fun moments? There are a ton. Well, I guess just one most recently that comes in mind, just because it happened this morning, was we just retired a dog. I think he's probably about like 10 years old, and so he's been working for about 8 to 9 years. Just retired him, and the graduate's adopting him as her pet now, and so I emailed her adoption agreement, and she wrote back, that she's signing the agreement and writing this email, and she's crying while she does it, but she knows that, Drake her dog deserves a retirement, and she wants to give that to him, and she shared with me how there's so many aspects of him that she loves, like resting her head on his chest, listening to his heart, and telling him her secrets.
That's awesome.
And that was really cute.
Right, and so with that, I'm going to end the interview, Lauren. And I just want to give a shout out to CCI. And for the people that don't know, my sister had her first assistant dog, Shawnee the Third, and she's with us as an adopted pet. And she was truly amazing. We heard CCI through another person that had a dog before. Obviously, my sister had it, and they were down in the Keys, and we found out about CCI. And usually it was a long waiting list, but they got through fairly quick. And Shawnee was an inspiration to my sister, but also inspiration to the family. And Emerson is also doing the same for us. So I really appreciate you, and CCI really is one of the most helpful organizations that we've dealt with my sister's disability. And if you guys do view the podcast, I really would recommend you donating to CCI, Canine Companions for Independence. Also, you can go on Amazon Smile, and if you order stuff through Amazon, which I do sometimes, I do go through Amazon Smile, and it donates 0.5%. I know it's not a lot, but at least it's something that we can give to CCI back as a small, tiny donation from Amazon. And you can also go to CCI on cci.org. And I know they also have Instagram and Facebook pages, but I would definitely ask you guys to go and check out the organization, volunteer. And I know you guys always need puppy raisers, and it's just something I'm sure, and you can definitely probably vouch for this, it's really tough to give up the dog after you puppy raise, but it's probably a really rewarding experience, and I would love to do it down the road because of it sounds really rewarding.
Yes, it is the ultimate volunteer experience. You get to play a huge role in changing somebody's life, and you get to raise and train a puppy, and it's a lot of fun.
And not only that, Lauren, you can go to the graduation after and cry until the kings come home. And I've been to many graduations down here in the Southeast region. And even if you don't have a dog involved, you don't know anybody involved, if you don't cry, then you definitely have something wrong with your heart or your mind, because it's extremely hard not to cry after seeing these individuals get these dogs that are really going to help them down the road in life and really create that independence.
Yes, yes. Our graduations really provide the newcomer with the ultimate, introduction to the organization. We also stream them on our website, cci.org/graduations, and you can find all of our regions' previous May graduations there on our website.
All right. Anything else, Lauren, you want to add that I didn't add before about fundraising, donations, anything about CCI in general?
You have covered everything, and I really appreciate it. And I would just repeat and encourage folks, guys, get on our website, cci.org. Check out what the information there. If you want to get more involved, you can find it all there. Thank you so much.
All right. Thanks, Lauren, for your time.